Welcome to week 4 of Ballet Marvel. This week's character, Gamora. So, special thanks this week to Zoe Saldana, who plays Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy series. She is a phenomenal actress, and I really appreciate her taking on the role of a character, a very strong character who has an adopted sibling, and I really appreciate her and Karen Gillan being aware of that and really spending time making you care about this relationship between these characters. It really means a lot when I see adopted siblings on screen because I don't often see them. In fact, aside from Thor and Loki, I think Gamora and Nebula are the only other adopted siblings I can think of. So yeah, special thanks to Zoe Saldana for really spending time to craft that relationship. Was a really great thing to see for an adoptee like me. Special thanks again to James Gunn, who directs the Guardians of the Galaxy series and who does such a phenomenal job doing so. I really appreciate that he included adopted sisters in a big blockbuster movie. That's not something a lot of people would do, and I know there's a history with the characters in the comics, but yeah, I'm just glad that they brought that over to the movie. It means a lot. So Gamora Week is dedicated to Nikki Ward, who is a fantastic artist who I had the good fortune of meeting at Ace Comic-Con in Seattle, and she's one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's so kind and so freaking talented, and it's really an honor to call her a friend. And Gamora Week is also dedicated to Robbie Cook. He is an artist who I met at Ace Comic-Con in Arizona. He drew the most beautiful picture of Gamora and Nebula, which is actually up on my wall over there that you can't see. He's a phenomenal artist, and I am just so glad I know him, and you should check out his work and check out Nikki's work. Nikki also did a phenomenal print of Gamora, so colorful and in her style, and Gamora Week is dedicated to Nikki Ward and Robbie Cook. Their Instagram handle will be in the description, and it will be linked in the blog. So yeah, give them a follow, show them some love. You know the drill. All right, let's get on with this. Gamora. So, this is the costume. Nice, huh? And the skirt is swishy. I love a swishy skirt. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. The skirt is a lot more sheer than I realized from the pictures. So I am actually wearing a leotard for the first time in 30 years. Gamora and Nebula were by far the hardest to design ballet interpretations of, and it's because their looks have a lot of leather, and surprisingly, ballets don't really use leather in costumes. So yeah, it was very tricky to figure out, but I think Carolina did a fantastic job. I couldn't decide whether I wanted a look more based on Gamora's Guardians of the Galaxy 1 costume or Guardians of the Galaxy 2 costume, because I think both have their strengths. And I just kind of told Carolina, just kind of mash it up as best you can. And she did. The blue netting you see that's running up and down, that's meant to resemble snakeskin, and I think it's really cool. The sleeves are green mesh, and they look cool, kind of itchy. If I ever wear this to a con, I'm gonna have to figure out some way to deal with that. I love the design on front, which is reminiscent of her first appearance, of her first costume. And so this is a cool costume, swishy skirt. Obviously, Carol Riot did the helm. And if you can see, I asked her to do something in homage to Gamora's hair So it's black with black Swarovski crystals, and also it has a magenta piece in the middle because Gamora obviously has magenta tips on her hair, and it is so freaking beautiful, people. Oh my god, I cannot wait to do the preliminary design post because I want to show you a close-up of this because it's very sparkly and very pretty, and I love it. Ooh, I love the headpiece. So, why I chose Gamora. As I mentioned in the special thanks, Gamora and Nebula are adopted sisters, and I relate more with Nebula, but I really love Gamora as well. I feel like they both survived trauma, but they both kind of approached and processed it in different ways. Gamora kind of broke away from her abuser, and Nebula kind of was left behind. And I think that Gamora didn't realize how much Nebula cared about her, and it's a very complicated relationship, but it's a very beautiful one. Like, their hug in Volume 2 is just one of the most beautiful scenes, I think, ever in film. It's just, oh, it's a really lovely scene. So, Gamora and Nebula, this is one of the very, 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 very few times fandom isn't trash and fandom hasn't erased adopted siblings. I theorize it's because they're women and fandom kind of, not. Fandom in general kind of has issues with women, which I will not get into because I will get crucified online because you can't talk about that, but fandom kind of has a woman problem. So the fandom accepts that they are sisters, and what I really love, what I really, really, really fucking love, the fandom does not see Thanos as their father. Every now and again, I feel like the movies tried to push that idea, and fandom was just like, nah. That was a weird noise. I'm sorry. So yeah, I love that they don't recognize the abuser as their father, because he's not their fucking father. He is not their father. They are sisters. Thanos was their abuser. That's the end of it. I really love how much Gamora loves her sister and how it's a very complicated love. I've seen a few fan arts of Thor and Gamora kind of bonding over the fact that they have a blue sibling that they love that drives them up the fucking wall on occasion or frequently. So Gamora loves her sister, but she is so fucking tired of her. Like, it's like, oh my god, why are you like this? Why do you have to be like this? Could you just chill? Could you just chill for like 5 seconds? But at the end of the day, Gamora is willing to sacrifice anything to make sure that Nebula is safe. I feel they were estranged for a bit, and I think they each blamed each other for that, but I feel like Gamora might have had slightly more blame. Again, I'm not taking sides. That's a weird thing to say about fictional characters, but I do feel like Gamora doesn't realize how much she hurt Nebula until Nebula kind of tells her, you really hurt me, and Gamora's kind of like, oh shit, I did. So what I love most about Gamora, and this is something we don't see in a lot of characters and we should really see more of, is she is willing to admit that she made mistakes in the past, and she's owning up to it. She is willing to admit that she hurt Nebula, and she wants to make amends for that. She really does work to make amends, and I think in the end she does. And I love that they leave them with Gamora supporting her sister's decision to do what she needs to do, and that was incredible. That was, it's like, you know, you're always going to be my sister. I'm always going to love you. I may not necessarily agree with your plan of action here, but I will support you. That's acknowledging that Nebula is her own person. It was a really powerful thing to see, and I think that was really part of making amends with Nebula and what happened in the past. It's becoming increasingly rare to find siblings in any popular media. I'm not going to go on a rant about why I think this is. Well, I'm an asexual woman. I actually do think it's because we cannot, in general, we cannot fathom a powerful relationship that isn't romantic. And so by putting romance like above all other relationships, we kind of like put all the we put all the other relationships like they're not as interesting, but they are. Honestly, I'm sick of romance people. I don't understand it. I don't it's I want to see more siblings. And I'm so sick of people being like gross about it. Um I'm really sick of romance in general, but not gonna go on that rant. Not gonna go on that rant. Um so it's increasingly rare to find siblings, and it's almost unheard of to see adopted siblings. And as an adoptee, this hurts. Like, it actually hurts. Um, so, in this time when we're not seeing as many siblings, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has 2 pairs of adopted siblings. And it's just like a balm, almost, because it's like, there's something I recognize. There's a story that's familiar to me, and that's familiar to a lot of people. And a lot of us haven't seen a story like ours on the big screen. And it hurts. But yeah, now that we have 2 pairs, it's like, hey, our story matters too. It's just a nice feeling, you know? So on a more aesthetic kind of foot, I had no idea what to say there. Whatever. Can you tell I'm still uncomfortable in front of the camera? I love how colorful Gamora is. I love that she's green. I love the pink in her hair. She's a gorgeous character. Like, that is a beautiful character design, and I love it. It's like, damn, she's really a cool looking character. She's also a total badass, like her sister, and that's awesome. And I love it, and I can't wait for Guardians Volume 3, because that's going to be so fucking cool. So in closing about the character of Gamora, I'll close with a quote by Zoe Saldana. Gamora can kill you, but she has a heart of gold. And I think that's what I really love about the character. Okay, so this week I shall be talking about Joseph Sissons, another one of my favorite dancers from the Royal Ballet. He's amazing. Can't wait for that. And I will be talking about 2 short ballets, Flight Patterns and The Statement, both choreographed by Crystal Pite. And both are some of my favorite ballets ever. So, stick around for that. Thanks.